Welcome, everyone. This is Uncorked with Holli
and Jeanna.
And today, all right, so grab your blankets, grab your pillows.
Yeah.
It's story time.
Popcorn.
No, it's just story time.
Well, it's cool. I mean, who doesn't like a good story and popcorn?
We'll ask our guests today whether we should be having popcorn.
Whether we should have popcorn. I know. It's probably a no, but that's okay.
But our story time takes us back to Florida. We met our guest. Well, I met our guest on a dusted, sandy path.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Here we go.
Leading to the beach in Melbourne, Florida. Uh-huh. And you met him in the garage, Jeanna.
Yes, okay, I did.
It was a fancy garage.
It was a very fancy garage.
So we met at an event, and honestly, it was really like, the coming together of great minds. His mind, my subconscious was doing crazy things. We're going to talk about that. And
I believe it was an intervention on the dusty path.
It was an intervention. That is an accurate description. I love it. So today we are so excited because we have Brian Johnson in the house. We've been following since we met him.
Yes.
And he has incredible content, a lot of stuff for free. But let me tell you a little tiny bit about him, and then we'll let him get into it as well.
Yes.
So he has a background in so many things, Jeanna. Hold on to your hat. And I know you're not wearing one today. Nope. You should be.
I should be.
All right. Yeah. He has certifications in nutrition, integrative nutrition, Eastern medicine nutrition, food-based healing, which I'm a big fan of.
Huge, yes.
Quite frankly.
Part of your shamanism.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then we have human performance and athletic performance and sports medicine. And then we have, brace yourself for this, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which I love that part. When you bake this cake, and maybe we should make it something more healthy, but when you bake this cake, you've got a beautiful combination of someone that is geared to help you heal and transform. And that is his business. And one of the things I love that he says is if you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your illness.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
Pause a little bit there.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome Brian Johnson to Uncorked.
Welcome back. Here we are.
It's so good to see you.
Yes, it's
good to see both of you.
Been too long. Yes, it's great to have you. So, Holli is a great hype person. So if you ever need to hire her, just let us know. But she's happy to hype you up anytime. But, kind of where we like to start our conversations, Brian, is just an opportunity for our guests to kind of share a little bit more about themselves. Just kind of like the highlights of Brian, the things that a listener who hasn't yet had the opportunity and good fortune to meet you would need to know about you and your story that really sets a nice foundation for the conversation today. So that's
we're interested in investing the next 45 minutes with us, right?
Well, listen, I watched you. You are a very quick, succinct talker. You're gonna
deliver a lot of information in a short period of time. I really appreciate that.
It's a powerful message.
Yeah, powerful.
I have zero concerns on that part. So my biggest thing is just give yourself permission to be open-minded, because you're not going to find too many people who've been doing this for 38 years actively. And I'm not saying as a pat on my back, like these are just the facts for me. I started doing this stuff when I was 7. So I don't know many people who can process and clean up things as fast as I can because the amount of experience I have. But let me tell you, I've been 250 3 different times, been suicidal a few times, almost killed myself at least 12 times. Done 8 months in jail, had bad intravenous drug problems. I collapsed all my veins. Most people don't know this, okay? Your buddy here has pushed the envelopes and did my best to get out of here, and God was like, get your ass up, dude. We got some work to do. So here we are. So I'm 45 currently. I did a show when I was 30, been 250 3 different times, like I told you, and in better shape now at 45 than I was at 30. But here's the kicker. I don't do hardly anything of what I used to. I was training 3 hours a day, eating 6 meals a day, 7 days a week of meat, six times a day. I cut out 98% of my meat. I fast most of the time. I eat a lot more fruits. My philosophy and just who I be at this moment is drastically different. And really, all I'm going to do is share with you some wisdom, and you're going to do what works for you. But here's what I will tell you. I've never seen it not work. And there's a reason why my information is banned and censored, and why I have to beat around the bush when I'm talking live and in public, because of things that are going on, right? So I've been online since 2014, and the last 2-3 years have been a bit more interesting for me. I can't run traffic. I can't pay to have eyeballs on my information anymore. So, you know, these kind of venues for me are important because this is how I can talk and share and get my information out to help more people out who are committed to helping themselves. So with that being said, you know, even though I have a master's in NLP, I use like 2 things of it. I literally have 2 books this thick with strategies that work. Wow. I've never had to use them because body language and language has never not worked. Okay. Mm-hmm. I have seen more things go away, so to speak, that ain't just supposed to go away. I expect them to go away because I know why they're there. It's just an emotional imbalance, right? So once you get clear on the locations where things are showing up at physically, I know what that means emotionally. And look, once you get this, it's 3rd grader stuff. I will throw myself into the worst shit with people who've been stuck for 30 or 40 years paying for it and solve it in a minute or less. And it's 3rd grader stuff. And people are mind boggled. I'm like, I was too until I've seen it happen a couple 100,000 times. And now it's just like, well, this is what's going to happen. Let's just see how fast we can do it. And a lot of times it's just getting people with the idea that it can be that fast. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn out, gruesome process. Like, I don't need to know he said this and none of that stuff. I just got to help you track emotions and then clean them up. And that's a wrap. So that's a lot of what I find myself doing is helping people to clean up identity issues, subconscious patterns, and things that are going on that they don't know is going on, which is why they're stuck in certain areas. I do a lot of couples counseling too, which I don't market this, but it's kind of what ends up happening. Is I end up helping them clean up their stuff because really our relationships are our best teachers. But if you don't have tools to understand and overstand how to move forward, most people are in entanglements, not relationships. Okay. Which means when someone's not showing up and being 100% of themselves, you're not going to get fulfillment or completion, either of those, through your partner. It's got to come from within. So when you can take a look at your relationships, check this out, and you can track how you feel in those relationships, that's going to tell you what's active in you. So and this thing about this, every feeling has a file, okay? It has a file of other people, circumstances, situations, and events that match how I feel. Most people are so unconscious and so cut off that they don't know what they feel. So when I ask them, hey, what are you feeling? I don't know.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. I
don't know is a straight up code for I'm going back to sleep. Now watch this. When you ask someone a question, and now that you're tracking this, watch how quick this happens. When you ask someone a question, they say, I don't know. And then they tell you everything about it. You ever had that happen?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Totally just went to sleep, bam, right out of the gate, and completely unaware of it, linguistically speaking. This is the problem. Most people don't realize that our English language it's shit. I mean, this is loving as I can tell you. Speaking English is the fastest way to keep yourself stuck forever. Yeah. And people don't get it. Like, think about this. And I remember this because as you're going through this, it's important to recall this. Our subconscious is 100% literal. Okay? It doesn't know the difference between a joke. It doesn't know none of that. The word becomes flesh. Okay? Right. So weekends and weekdays. Kind of weird, maybe why they call it that. Let's just see. Well, and then you got this thing called when someone's going to earn a living. Well, what's also kept in an urn? Oh, you hear it? That's your subconscious saying, oh, ashes of a dead person. Maybe there's a coincidence. Let's see. Then when someone's awake or conscious, what's also at a wake?
Right. Right.
Okay. Think something's going on here. That's 2 words. Okay. Yeah. Television. I mean, it's our language is laced up with all of this. And until one can become conscious of it and make some new changes linguistically, they will not change. Fastest way I tell my people, I'm like, look, fastest way to upgrade or downgrade your life is by the words coming out of your mouth. Period.
Right.
Shifting from wanting to choosing is massive.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not a religious person, but scripture person. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So when I say I want something, I'm literally freewheeling, agreeing with not having it. And when people notice, and when you start tracking, I'll show you this chart if you choose to. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about this because the best value that I can provide for you today without talking to you directly is start to help you track on your body in real time exactly what your body is trying to tell you. I don't care how many times we have this conversation. Every time, hey, Brian, da-da-da-da, great. Where do you feel that at? On my chest. Okay, great. That's fear. Or my solar plexus. Okay, that's grief. On my throat. Okay, that's sorrow or sadness. On my back. That's anger. Right side, left side. Right. All right. You having a challenge with your male figure or your husband or what you're doing?
Oh.
It's that fast. And it's going on 24/7. While you're asleep, your body is still doing stuff. Every time you're scratching, you're itching, you stutter, you have a broken bone, a skin rash, an irritation, a bruise, constipation, stutters, hiccups, all of it is code. All of it is code.
Your body is sending you code.
100%. Like if you think about your body like the dashboard of your car, when the light goes off or something goes off, what do? Well, you do whatever the thing is and the light goes off, right?
Right.
It's that fast.
Even hiccups.
Yeah, check this out, 20 for 20. So when I have hiccups, and it generally happens when I'm teaching, when I had it, because I've taken something in. So when something happens and I've got the hiccups, I'll say this literally, I give myself permission to forgive what I've taken in.
Oh.
Just take a deep breath like that, my body. Okay, so when that happens, I could have taken in something physically or generally energetically. Okay, and when that happens, that's a hiccup. So when I say I give myself permission to forgive what I've taken in, I'll literally feel something reverse out the top of my head, boink, and then my hiccup goes away. 20 for 20. Never had it not work. On the spot. Guaranteed. Test it for yourself. I'll pay you $1,000 if it doesn't work.
Okay, listen, we need to rewind. I have so many questions.
Yes.
So many questions.
And you're cheating and writing them down. I'm trying to keep them in my head.
No, actually,
so good.
I was thinking of things so we can
so
help promote our, I was thinking like some of the things so that I don't have to go back and do it right away. But anyway, so listen, all right. So NLP is really not anything that you're using. You're using body language. Like with me on the dusty path, it was body language and I think a stuttering that I was doing at the time. I don't remember exactly, but we went through that and it cleared up. It did clear up whatever we went through at the time.
Yes.
And so how the body keeps score, I totally agree with that. I also agree we're disconnected with our body because I think you asked me, where are you feeling something? I'm like, I don't know where I'm feeling. It's the same thing, right? I don't know. Okay.
Yes.
Add this caveat to it. So when someone says, I don't know, or you say, I don't know, because I still say, I don't know. And I'll say, I choose to know after that. I give myself permission to know.
Right.
Yes.
You got to keep the positive on the screensaver of your mind.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a big deal.
How did you learn that? I mean, we're going to show the chart. We're going to talk about the chart that you're talking about, which is incredible. How did you learn that? And is it body language or what is it that helped you zero in? Because honestly, audience, this guy zeroes in on, like, you're so hearing fast. It. I want him to zero in on something for me too. By the way,
I knew that was coming. I think, I knew that was coming.
It always happens like this. We had a psychic yesterday. I was like, okay, what about me? Okay, it's so great having a podcast with smart guests.
Oh, it is really, truly.
Anyway, so yeah, how did you hone in on that? And I mean, you are laserly focused on this, and so. Can you talk a little bit about that? And then how do you, I want to talk about how you work with people too. Is it like one-on-one? I know you have some group sessions. They can check you out on TikTok, but I want to know all about that. Then let's get back to the chart.
Yeah. So the first thing is, since age 7, I've always had an innate void knowing someone ain't telling the truth. Okay. And I knew that early in life. And I had a gym membership to World's Gym in the 5th grade. I started working out with my dad at 7. So I got into bodybuilding because I used to get the shit beat out of me. Straight up. I was like, all right, I'm done with that shit. I got to figure out a way to get bigger.
Right.
So I did. I started reading magazines, looking at stuff, eating more, started working out, like doing the things I knew how to survive. I would lock myself in the bathroom because my older half brother would torture me to death and no one was home. So I had to learn pretty quick to make some adjustments. And, thank God I made it out of it, because there's some times I didn't want to, because that's just a lot, right? A lot of people deal with that kind of stuff. So with that information, I had a real desire, and still do, to help people in suffering and pain and trauma. And I've been on the search for it ever since, just digging, gouging the edges of earth to figure out, like, what's the fastest way to create a miracle? And there are laws to do this.
Yeah.
Nutrition is a powerful way. It means God's handiwork, right? But most times people don't have any idea, like, why kiwis reverse asthma. Check this out. I've seen coconut oil 3 tablespoons a day keep people with HIV/AIDS non-detectable. What? 3 tablespoons. I have 3 clients that had this happen. You do your own homework. It's out of the Philippines. Go look it up yourself. I'm just telling you. The cat's out of the bag.
Right.
The information's coming out, and they can't stop it, and that's why there's a lot of things going on right now. So my invitation is just be open-minded. Test it for yourself. I trust it.
No, we just had a doctor on Anatomy of Anxiety, she wrote, and she was saying the same thing. Well, coconut oil actually reduces anxiety, and almond butter. I mean, we'll link it. Yeah, we'll link
blood sugar stuff.
Blood sugar stuff. It causes anxiety instead of having pills. So she's like, let's figure out.
Doesn't have to be hard.
It doesn't have to be hard.
Not. And the thing is the problem with anxiety is that keeps people mental. Ditch the word anxiety and call it what it is. It's fear. Yeah. When you have anxiety, don't call it anxiety, because that's going to keep you up here looking for the medical model. They're not going to do shit for you. I'm going to show you how to solve it in 60 seconds or less and pay you $1,000. And then once you do it, you know how to do it every time. We'll do it today. Let's do it right now. Here you go. Yep. So when anxiety, AKA fear, is active, what you need to know is it's going to show up in one of 2 places. And I'll give you my chart for free. Just use my text message number, and I'll give it to you in a second. That way you can
great.
Just
perfect.
Okay? Perfect. But right now, y'all can see this. But for those of you who are watching this live, I'll give you this chart. You just use my text message number. And I always do a free call with all my people. It doesn't take me long to solve some problems. And I'll do it for you. Just use my text number, and that way you can get your chart. And then I'll see you when you get back there, and I'll say hi. So long story boring, check it out. Fear is active, right? Fear is going to show up in your chest. It's going to show up as a tension. But here's the deal. If you're off your rocker and you know it, and you don't feel anything, guess what? You're asleep. Most people are here. It's not a judgment. It's a fact. The only way to change it is to be aware of it and to have an honest interest and commitment to do the work, because most people ain't interested in doing the work. They'd rather bitch and complain about why they're not there. Do whatever works for you, but here's what I'm going to tell you. If you don't change your state, life does not give us what we want.
Right. Life
gives us who we are being. So if you have this stuff active, but you don't know, guess what? You don't get a pass. Your life is going to be bringing these people, circumstances, situations, and events that match what you feel. So if you don't know this, guess what? Here's your sign. Here's a simple way for you to track this. You could be sitting on the toilet and do this. You could be in a meeting, doesn't matter, okay? Track where you're breathing from. If you're breathing from your chest, that tells you instantly you're in fight or flight or freeze or fear or, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You don't want to be there any longer than what you're there. But trust me, everything that we have been propagated into since we have been born is to create that fear. Once you opt out of that, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, is a done deal. And this is what you are experiencing, okay? Your job is to take radical responsibility for who you are being and to change it so that you can change what you're seeing, but also so you can help all your brothers and sisters that are also connected to you and me both. I'm an empathic person, so I feel this stuff. So I'm cleaning stuff all day long for my own self, but also for people that I'm with. And here's the thing. If you're like that, then this information is going to be priceless for you, because look, a lot of times you're feeling stuff that is not yours.
Yeah, that's hard to discern, Brian.
Not anymore. Listen to this. All you're gonna do is ask yourself, "Hey," I'll say Brian. When I say Brian, I'll be like, "Yeah, you talking to me, Brian? Is this yours?" And it'll catch me, because when I have audios and I'm listening to something, I'll say Brian. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, and then I'll drop the command. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So, is this mine? I'll ask myself straight up, Brian, is this yours or is this mine? If it's not, same thing. Comes out the top.
Oh.
Okay.
Love that.
That's it. Check this out. I've had experiences where I just thought about someone for a second. I wasn't tuning, I wasn't fishing, none of that. So I just thought about them. Boom, my state changed. I'm like, is this mine? Nope.
Oh.
Yep.
So let's clean the anxiety thing up, the fear thing up real quick, okay?
Yep.
So when you get my chart, this will make more sense. This is how you know what emotion is present. Because look, if you don't know this part, this is what separates you from, hey, I'm interested in taking responsibility for my state. This is what you need to know. Here's your next step.
Okay.
You must use your body to get clear on what you are feeling by where it shows up. It has a home. Fear has a home. Anger has a home. Grief has a home. Sorrow and sadness has a home. And it's going to show up at its home every time it's home. Pretty fundamentally.
And we all have the same homes for these things. So like where the grief is in Jeanna is the grief for me.
Yep. So understand this too. I was in my yoga class, this is probably a year ago. My yoga teacher is Chinese, and there was another Chinese person there. It was before class, and they started talking Chinese, and they started stuttering. I walked out of class, called my coach. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm in yoga. My yoga teacher is Chinese, and she's stuttering. Is it the stutter thing cross-cultural?
It is.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. What does that mean? Well, that means that we're all connected, number one, because you don't have to tell yourself when and what to itch and scratch. Your higher self is doing all this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When you can track the language and you can marry it, you will have miracles on the spot every time. It's a law. It's not my theory or opinion.
Right.
I'm just using laws.
Right.
Yes. Because the subconscious, you said, is literal. So that I want to say that again.
Yeah,
The subconscious is literal. So when you're talking about the English language being a challenge, and you gave all those examples, it is a challenge. And we are not conscious of what we're saying. That's what you're saying.
Check this out. Isn't it a great day? Is it not a great day?
It's not a great day. What?
You know,
What?
it's so yeah.
That's our language. It has been consciously constructed by unconscious people who don't give a shit about you or I. That's what you need to be at peace with and know that and make adjustments with that. Okay. So back in action. So Abra. Okay. This is your Abra chart.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna get that.
Right. Abra is my formula for like abracadabra poof to create with words. A is awareness. This is what I'm going to help you do right now. Okay. I'm going to help you become aware. So when you're out of alignment, you're not at peace, you're not having fun, and you're not enthusiastic, stop what you're doing. That tells you something's up. Now the question is, well, what's up? So here's what you do.
Okay.
I say this 10 to 20 times a day. This is fundamentally present every time I start. When I'm working on myself, this is exactly what I do. I'm just going to do my thing and let you hear it, and we'll put the piece.
Great.
Okay? So this is Abra. A is awareness. So I'll say, I get my, and watch. If you do this and you look up, you're going to go in your head. You cannot feel in your head. Down. So when I'm coding new information or I'm giving myself new identity shifts, I'm down on my left side because I'm pushing those into my identity, and my state will change instantly. That's how you know. Okay.
Okay. So down to the left. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I give myself permission to feel my feelings, and it's okay. Okay went down. My head had a slight yes, and I'm tracking all this to help you understand it, right? Because when you're doing this, guarantee you someone's going to get a no. Guarantee you multiples of you is going to get a no. And when you text me, say, hey, I got a no. I'm like, I hope you okay. Here's what you need to know. You need to know that. You need to know when you're talking to yourself in your head's like, no. I'm like, fuck, that's important, right? That way you know if you're in alignment or not. Because what's worse is, dude, when I don't know if I show you this. Have you seen that before?
No.
Oh my God. Wow.
I've done that 3 different times. Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
When I was 30, I did a show when I was 30. I'm 45 now and in better shape now than I was here. It took me 13 years after I did my show to figure it out, but here's why.
And just to be clear, this is you in these pictures.
That's
you would never know that.
No, it doesn't even look like
you gotta go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah.
Just came out of jail like 8 months on that one right there.
Wow.
Wow. Brian. Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So the point of the matter is this, is that people, when you are not who you would like to be, it's an identity thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lot of what I do, helping people to have the tools to rewire that information and have confirmation and validation that what you did just worked on the spot. You ain't got to wait a week. You ain't got to wait a month. We're going to know right now whether that just worked or not. And if it don't, we're going to tweak it. And I've never had it not work. Okay?
Wow.
So ABRA, A is awareness. So once you say, I give myself permission to feel my feelings and it's okay, here's what you're going to track. You're going to track. And when you get my chart, you'll see this. And when you get my chart, save it as your screensaver.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Way, anytime you pick up your phone, you're conditioning yourself. Oh, let me check in. Let me check in. Look, I have an alarm that goes off every 15 minutes. It's a sound. I know what it is. And then when I hear it, I'll make my adjustments so that every day I'm tweaking all day. My objective is to be more enthusiastic before I go to sleep than I was when I rose up. That is inevitable for me if I do what I'm asking you to do. God, and once I hit lunchtime, I'm in a momentum state at that point in time, so it's pretty much smooth sailing.
Yeah.
A lot of times as you're doing this stuff, your stuff is going to come up. And for those of you who are courageous enough to use the whole, I give myself permission to feel my feelings, and it's okay, pay attention, because you're going to have some stuff that's going to start coming up. I'll help you clean it up, but that's the point. Look, you cannot shove something under the rug and expect it to go away. It's not. It's going to show up and show up until it becomes a thing on your physical vehicle, and then you go to the traditional system, and then you're done. Okay? Doctors don't like me for a reason, because I'll run circles around them all day and solve all this shit that they're trying to treat forever in seconds. It is kindergarten stuff.
Well, what I love about this, if I can just interrupt you for 1 second and just have just a breath here. What's so beautiful is that in a culture where we're taught not to feel our feelings, especially for men, but all across the board, we're taught all of this. Well, we'll talk about nutrition too. We talk shit about nutrition. We're taught all this stuff. What you're doing is you're bringing and making this to the this is what we're missing. We're missing our feelings in healthcare. We're missing the spiritual connection in healthcare, which is about your feelings. And we're missing, nutrition. And what I think is so very, very crucial is you're bringing this to the forefront and saying, this is the problem and I have a solution. And that is monumentally transformative. So that's what I wanted to say is I just want to take a breath here and go, it's such a big deal. And one thing else that I want to just highlight is our brains are going to struggle with it's that easy. And so I know that that's one of the affirmations that we have to get through to our literal subconscious, that it is that easy. And I don't know if it was that easy to lose weight. So the pictures he was showing was his weight loss journey. And I don't know. So take it from there. But I just wanted to lay that platform if that was okay. And I apologize for interrupting, but I think it was so important just to point out you're the first person on our podcast to say this in this way. And I think it's so fundamentally important and so, it is transformative. So I just wanted to stop there and then pre-pave and serve it up for you to get it over the net.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is what it is. The truth speaks for itself. Any person with a brain who's willing to test it, you're going to find that for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I'm going to, because I've seen 100,000 million people at this point in time go through this type of stuff. And it's, look, with the truth, things just happen fast. Like all the things are here for us to do it. There's just been so much convoluted stuff that ain't the way to do it. And people have been brainwashed and programmed, and oftentimes just don't think for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're getting laced up on every end from stuff in our food or water.
Absolutely.
All of it, right?
Everywhere.
So
we'll talk about that too. So
even our language.
So we're going to go back to the chart. So we're going to have it on our phone. We have the chart, Jeanna. We have it on the phone, and then we check in. So you actually have ritualistic to check in, and then we want to be more enthusiastic when we go to bed.
I love just that concept.
That's so beautiful.
It's so simple.
Okay.
Back to your point.
Yes.
So simple. If you just wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to go to bed happier. You set an intention, then you
check in.
The most simple intention.
Yeah, check this out. This is my coach shirt. It's intention. inner tension.
Oh.
Right? So result or outcome, all those are good. Or I choose to feel blank, blank, blank. You know, those are good conscious commands that our subconscious can use, right? And stuff goes deep. It's just crazy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, you're right.
Let's name the anxiety slash. Remember, you're not using anxiety anymore, it's fear, right?
Yep.
So we have average chart, okay?
Yep.
A is awareness. You already said that. I give myself permission to feel my feelings and it's okay. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to scan your body. If you have something in your throat, that's sorrow or sadness. If you have something in your chest, this is fear. This is what we're going to work on now. If you have something in your solar plexus, that's grief. If you have something in your stomach above your belly button, that is also fear. Now, you could tell, like I've been 253 different times and I used to eat because I thought I was hungry. It's fear. I didn't know. I really did not know that piece until probably about 2 years ago.
Wow.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Because when you start feeling fear and you're munching, I'm about to transform your life. I'm going to show you what to say. So we have awareness. Okay, let's say we're tracking chest. So now we know, okay, we got chest stuff going on. So we know, we're aware fear is active. Okay.
Can I ask a quick question, Brian? Sorry. For me, I'm hung up on it. So maybe others will be too. What's the difference between grief and sorrow, or sorrow and sadness and grief?
So really, it's just going to be trust yourself. And here's the thing, right?
Okay.
When you go through and do it, if it doesn't change, then use the other one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Because I would think they could potentially blend, be tougher. Yeah.
Here's the thing, like they're stored differently for each person.
Sure. Okay. That makes complete sense.
Once we go through and nail it, and we go through the code, formula, system, we'll go back and track our work. Okay. And if it didn't work, then we know we got to make a change. And like I said, I've never had it not work. I might need to make an adjustment, make linguistical adjustment with an upswing, which is a question mark, versus a downswing. Like that's where you get ninja, because people's inner ninjas is going to come out and try to keep them from doing what they're doing because that's their baby.
Right.
I can't get rid of my baby. You got to hold on to it. You got to linguistically coerce or gently massage yourself into transformation. That's why the language is so important.
Right.
So I give myself permission to feel my feelings and it's okay. That's important. I give myself permission to forgive myself and it's okay. I give myself permission to love myself or recommit to loving myself and it's okay. That's a big deal. I give myself permission all the time. For high-level thinkers, permission is going to be essential because it's going to bypass your ego instantly so you don't have to go through and do it again.
Right. Yep.
So you have awareness. Next B, or the only B, is breathe. So we already went through this. If you're breathing from your chest, that means you're in fight or flight or freeze. And if you need to do something about it, or you're going to keep attracting this stuff. Now, since we're talking about this, check this out. I've totally blown out my bicep on here. I got the other piece on there, but the other parts roll up my arm somewhere. I have totally blown out my left inner groin and created 2 car wrecks, all because I had anger for 3 days that I was super hot about it and I didn't clean it up.
Oh.
I did this by myself, punching in my punching bag in my garage. Okay? I say this because you are going to be responsible for what you are feeling. What you are feeling is creating what you're seeing and what you're experiencing. When you start having injuries and things, guess what? You need to do some work. If you're upset or you're hot about something, you need to clean it up before you get behind the wheel. Because if you're driving and you're fuming, it's not like you're driving down the road saying, I hope I get in a car, I hope I get in a car. No, cancel clear. But driving down the road, being in a vibration where car wrecks exist is completely the truth. Yes. Okay? But when you have these things showing up, pay attention. Track how they are making you feel, or notice what you feel when these things show up, and that'll give you indication on where you're operating at, especially if you're unconscious about it. Okay? So breathe. We know if you're breathing from your chest, you're in fight or flight or freeze. When you're functioning all is well, you will naturally breathe through your stomach. It'll naturally happen once we clean up whatever's going on, just automatically drop. You might even have a time sometimes where I'm doing work with myself or working with someone, and God takes a mouthful of air and shoves it down my face, and my stomach goes, like, I didn't do that. That was not me doing that. And you're going to have stuff like that happens. That's your subconscious, your higher self, communicating to you through your vehicle. It's very real. Okay?
Yep.
So here, okay, awareness, breathe. First R is release. So that in this release, just like I sound, you will automatically feel at least in neutral, because in order to change, I got to get to neutral first.
Right.
I can't go from here to there without identifying, acknowledging what is the fact, neutralizing it, and then moving forward. Okay? So I give myself permission to feel my fear, and it's okay. Now, when you get my chart, you're going to see the emotions. They're going to have the spots, and they're going to have the emotion to it. You're also going to see a number. The number is the code. The number is when you hear a 4 stutter and today was a great day. That means fear is active. And the only reason someone would stutter is because they're not feeling what's going on. Check this out. Let's say you're in a restaurant and you hear someone in earshot start stuttering. Pay attention. Track your body and see what's up. Because the very fact that you're hearing it, there is only one of us here. Everyone's connected. I've had times when I'm in public working on myself, just walking around doing my stuff, just in my own little world, and I'm watching someone, and their body is signifying the things for me in my body, and I'm tracking and saying, okay, got it.
Oh, so it's like you're getting signs.
The mirror is being held up for yourself.
Like it's projecting on you. Yes.
By people who have no idea they're even participating.
I totally understand that. We get signs from people that are totally not knowing.
And when we're asleep, you don't even notice them. You don't even think about them. You don't even see them as the little nuggets from the universe or source or whatever for your highest and best use, right? Like you're not even picking it up.
Well, and I'm going to say that on the dusty path, I stuttered and I wasn't even conscious of that. So I'm going to invite our audience to invite that acknowledgement into their world, because I was watching my words because I was like, invite, is that a good word? Right. So he's got me on it. Okay.
Yeah.
And invite that into their world to actually be conscious of the stuttering, because I don't think I stutter, but I did. I did.
Most people just don't hear it because they're it's just normal.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I'm with people in the game who have never experienced it before, I'm like, hey, there's a 2 stutter. Did I stutter? Yeah, go back and listen to the audio. It's normal because people just don't know that's what it is.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay. Sorry, so let's go back and we'll finish this. We're done, then we can go to nutrition. So release, I give myself permission to feel my fear, and it's okay.
Okay.
Not okay. That's a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
I give myself permission to feel my fear, and it's okay. That's a no. I might need to do some adjusting. Okay. Once you say that, you should notice you feel a little more relaxed. It's not going to resolve it, but you might notice some alleviation. This will resolve it, however. So once we go to the second R in ABRA, which is recode. The recode is very simple. I give myself permission to love my fear into my courage and my faith.
Oh, that's
Tell
beautiful.
it, you stick it, and it's going to change every time, instantly. And that way you go back to the spot where you were working and you track it right there. Okay? The last A is appreciation and aligned action. So let's say, for example, that you're using my formula and you're just being with yourself and you just finish up a cycle and you're like, oh my God, it went away. It's going to. A is just appreciation. Like I might say something, oh man, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for connecting with Brian, for sharing stuff. I'm grateful for the new tools. All I'm doing, I am ascending my emotional well-being back up the chart. Then when I'm in that position energetically, now I'm going to take aligned action from that state. Okay? So that's the whole piece. ABRA, A, awareness, B, breathe, R, release, R, recode, last A, appreciate, aligned action. It's that fast. Once you write down, like my training is probably an hour and a half. It's chopped up into 4 and 7 minute videos. You literally save this as your screensaver. Whenever you're in the weeds, you bust it out. You bust out your little card with your little sayings on it. I give myself permission to feel my fear, and it's okay. I choose to love my fear, my courage, my faith. And you write down the other ones and put it in your pocket. It's that simple.
Wow.
What if people don't believe it works?
Just test it for yourself.
Yeah.
Find out.
You know, I do think I'm right with you, Holly. Like, it's such a stubborn place to be. Just try it. I mean, what's it going to hurt to try it? Just try it.
Yeah.
Just try it.
It's that easy.
And you might be right, but just try it. Really? I mean, just try it, everybody. Just try it.
more spiritually committed to being stuck and complaining. There is an impact. Like if you're not willing to say a couple words and deal with your shit and enjoy it, that's it. I mean, I'm very straightforward. I have zero interest in being frank because I'm not Frank. I'm Brian. If you do it, it'll work. But if it does not, then you just deal with it and enjoy yourself and stop complaining about it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
People who do not want to do it, you straight up don't love yourself. And that needs to be cleaned up, because that means forever you're going to be sabotaging yourself, wondering why these things keep happening to me. It's because you're happening to you. And you're not getting out of your way and changing it. And until you do, it's going to continue happening until you get yourself really beat up or dead. There is no alternative.
I mean, that's so
beautiful.
The not self-loving, you know. So is that a reason why we gain weight, or we like you had your weight loss and increase journey, and now you have been, I guess you've been stable for a long time now, since you've been doing this work. And so is that a lack of self-love always? What is that? And how do you address that? I mean, that's like,
great question.
You know, that's been a lifelong challenge for me, is the gaining weight. I never did what you did, but like up, down, and then, you know, it's strong arming it with your mind and all restriction,
hard. Yes.
I was like, I just want my weight to be stable. This was a while ago. I struggled with that. And is it a self-love thing? Is it, how would you go through your average chart with that type of thing? Or is that separate?
No, I mean, the first thing I would do is just find out whether I love myself. I mean, you could stand in front of the mirror and say, I love myself, and watch what your body does. It's going to tell you.
Right. Like whether you have if people aren't watching, like if you're having a shaking your head no, or if you're
alignment saying like you're trying to push it and would love to believe it, but that's not the truth. Like you got to be authentically honest with yourself.
Right. Like I love myself. Okay. Is a question, right?
Yeah. Because if you're not doing the things you know to do, very simple. Like if you're not taking care of yourself, knowing that your body needs to be healthy to thrive, and you know that, and guess what? You're not loving yourself, because you're going to do the shit you don't want to do when you don't want to do it, because that's what's necessary for you to thrive and to function on the level you choose to.
Right.
That's why so many people are out of shape. But you also need to know this. The information that's available is also, you got to dig for it, and you got to have some fundamental understandings on how to tweak. And you can check out our book called Think Great, Lose Weight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of information in there about this, and it's really a lifelong resource. But here's a couple things that you can do that I do with my clients. And this is really, when I did my show, when I was 30, this one, I totally was stuck for 13 years after I got off stage. 13 big ones, okay? I had no idea, and I was measuring stuff, doing cardio, working out, tracking my food, eating all the things, okay? I did not know, however, that my blood sugar was out of whack. Once I figured that thing out, that transformed my life almost in a month. I dropped like 10 pounds of fat when I hadn't dropped 10 pounds of nothing in 13 years in a month. Okay?
Wow.
So understand, family, often you are 1 to 2 tweaks off from your body being able to do what it needs to do. But if you don't have the proper information and you're not doing it with people who are doing it,
right,
the world's full of it. Okay? So here's a couple things you can do. It doesn't matter who you are. These are fundamental tools that will give you an understanding of what's going on underneath the hood. So you can tell whether what you're doing is working very quick versus waiting a month and doing all the things and looking at your results and seeing how there's not any and be like, I just did that for a month. Okay. I learned that one a couple of times. I'm like, that's the last time that will ever happen to me.
Yeah.
So I track blood sugar daily. I track body fat every 1 to 3 days. With clients, I track it daily. So every morning they get up, they give me the information. They give me their blood sugar numbers. They give me their body fat numbers so I can track what's going on, because here's the thing. A body fat scale you can get for $20, $30. And when you text me and get your chart, just say, hey, can you give me that body fat? I'll give you all the tools you need. With the body fat scale, realistically, you can drop 1 to 3% every 7 days. Okay. 1 to 3%. Now, depending upon your current body weight, that might be a little different. But if you could drop 1% every 7 days, that is solid. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'd be delighted with that.
Great. But some of you may not have a percent to lose. depending upon where you're at, right? So
Sure.
you got to be realistic with what you're doing, but here's the challenge. A lot of my clientele has been ladies over the years, right? So I get to help them deal with all the shit, and just guys too.
Yeah.
Getting on a scale every day is work, because I got to process everything that I don't like about what that number is telling me about what I'm making up about
Exactly right.
I know.
You got to be able to work through that stuff, because you got to clean the attachments off of it and say, look, it's just data. It's giving me data based off my performance yesterday. And if it's off, then guess what? I get to make a tweak. I give myself permission to forgive myself, and I recommit to loving me here and now.
Yes. So you help your clients, because for women, I know this because, you know, I've been obsessed with the scale, and it would dictate your day. Like, am I going to have a good day or not? You know,
absolutely.
Based on the fucking number on the scale. How stupid is that? And 2 pounds, like, who sees that? Okay, like, it's insanity.
And then when you know it's 2 pounds up, you feel like it's 7 or 8. Yes.
Roll me in. Okay.
So hold on, this is important. Here's the next question I have for you. So my client's like, Brian, I lost 5 pounds today. I'm like, great. 5 pounds of what? They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's 3 types of weight: muscle, water, and fat. If you're not tracking your body fat, start, because that way, every time you get on the scale, it's going to give you an accurate depiction. So, okay, if I put on 2 pounds, what did it come from? Was it a pound of muscle, or a pound of fat? Okay, well, that's better than 2 pounds of fat, which is my automatic assumption.
Right.
It could be 2 pounds of muscle, but if I don't know that, my automatic assumption is the worst part of it.
Right.
Okay. So you need to have that extra layer of wisdom you have the facts to get clear on what's going on. So blood sugar, I have a training, Dr. William Davis and I did, the author of Wheat Belly and Undoctored. I've had him on twice, and we did a show. He's a genius. Matter of fact, when you text message me, there's another code word you can use. You can use the word chart. And you want to write this down, Holly? 512-512-648-5440. When you text me, just use one word at a time. I'll see you when you get back there, and you'll know it's me. I'll send you an audio message, but don't say, hey, Brian, whatever. We'll talk about all that once we chat.
Yeah.
Just type the word chart and press send.
Okay.
Then type the word wheat belly, 2 words, and press send. So once you press start or chart, press send, then type wheat belly, 2 words, and press send. It'll pull up the training I'm talking to you about how I learned to start tracking my blood sugar. Now, let me share this with you too, because this is important. This is what got me doing yoga. So when I would track my blood sugar, I would go to the gym. Like when I first got onto this information, Dr. William Davis is like, all right, he told me what to do. We went through it live and talked about it. I said, all right. I went and grabbed my little meter, started pricking my feet. I'm like, well, we're going to test this out. I'm going to go to the gym the following morning, 5 o'clock, fasted, which I never would do. I'm going to work out. I'm going to get drenched, and I bet you my blood sugar is going to be down in the 40s. Seems logical, right? Went to the gym, did all that stuff, was friggin' drenched, walked out to my car, get my finger pricker, 123. What?
And you had fasted and worked out.
All of it. Okay.
Oh, that sounds like me, by the way.
Yeah, listen to this. This is important, because this is a very high level piece of wisdom that I tracked through data and figured it out. And this is what helped me get shredded, doing a lot less work. Okay. So then I tracked it again. 123. I'm like, what the fuck? I called Dr. Dan. Like, hey, dude. I'm like, hey, man, I just did all this stuff and did everything you talked about yesterday. I thought for sure I'd be down in the 40s. I was at 123. I'm like, he goes, what's going on? He goes, well, anytime you have stress, working out of stress, cortisol goes up.
Yeah.
When else does your cortisol go up? Hold that thought. I'm going to tell you. When your cortisol is up, you're not burning fat. Your body's blood sugars are up, so your body's using the glucose. Now, check this out. When my clients send me their data and I look at it, there's a huge ass spike for 100 points at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, hey, dude, what'd you have to eat yesterday at 3 o'clock? I'm like, I didn't eat yet. You still fasted? Yeah. Well, did you have a meeting at 4? Yeah. Who, with your wife? Yeah. How'd it go? Oh, man, it was rough. I'm like, yeah, no, your numbers told me. Boom.
Wow.
100 points in a split second because the
my
emotion.
God.
Now, think about this. If someone's breathing from their chest all day long, where are they functioning at? Do you think your body's going to say, hey, I'm safe enough to get rid of all this fat that's keeping me cushioned? Not at all. Matter of fact, how can I put on more because I'm not secure? You need to know that, right? So that's important. What questions you got on that one?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh, let me finish this piece and then we'll tighten up. So just remember. So now here's the next layer to my little experiment, because I run experiments on myself all the time and testing stuff. So I know what to tell you. Like, hey, pay attention to this, watch this, make this adjustment, track it in an hour, let me know what you got. So that way I can stay in sync with my clients. And it's an intimate process because I'm at the hip with people for 30 to 60 to 90 to a year daily, doing these adjustments all day long to help them get skilled on what's going on.
Right.
So when we're done, they have the tools to be able to continue their journey and have ways to track it. That's all I'm doing is I'm showing you how to get serious and get clear on whether what you're doing is working. And if it's not, show you how to make the changes and how to confirm what you're doing is working. If you don't know that, you got to stop. You got to use the tools, deal with the shenanigans, the emotional stuff, because there's nothing worse than wasting your time, feeling terrible, being completely out of peace, hating how you feel in your own vehicle. Most people live like that.
Yes.
And they just go to sleep because they get tired of dealing with it. And every time they get out of the shower, they do this. Every time you get out of the shower, you should be, wow, you look greater today. You look leaner today. You can do that with the right information. But if you don't, it's not going to work. Okay?
Yeah.
So this piece right here. So I said, well, let's try this yoga thing out, right? So I've been doing yoga 2 years. One of the best experiences I've ever had for myself because I don't have to think about it. I go in there and I just follow the person, and I'm half time in la la land and I'm stopping what I'm doing because I'm thinking about something too. So that's okay, right? So I did yoga. I would go fasted. I usually go do yoga at 12. And when I go do yoga at 12, I'm fasted still. So I go to yoga, track my blood sugar when I get out of it, 80s.
Nah.
So 70 to 90 is good, just FYI for your own personal understanding. 80s. So when I do an 80 and I get done with yoga, I'll fast the rest of the day because my blood sugar will stay in the 80s, which tells me all day long my body's using fats for fuel. So how can I get in better shape?
Wow.
Training 3 hours a day, 6 meals a day, 7 days a week, to doing an hour of yoga, sometimes not even that, just doing walking and some stuff. And I still do the gym like 2, 3, maybe 3 days a week, but not 3 hours a day, 6 meals a day, 7 days a week kind of stuff, because I might not eat until 8 o'clock tonight and just have some asparagus or something and some detoxification stuff. And my physique will hold its shape because of the conditioning and the things I'm telling you about.
Oh, wow.
So it's about working smarter versus harder. But if you don't know that, you don't know that, right? Most people don't know that because it's not common knowledge. There's a ton of gurus out there, right? But they ain't all of them created equal, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, even beyond weight loss, just like our guest last week, it absolutely changes how you feel in your vehicle. I like how you call it a vehicle, but how you feel in the vehicle and what that does when your vehicle feels good, the message is up to the mind is all's good. We're safe. Yeah, everybody's good.
How other people perceive you to do business with you and whatever else. Like, hey, this person takes care of themselves. They're going to take care of whatever I need to do and feel, in a secure place about it. That's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I love that. And I love the fact that you have all the tools and all the knowledge. I mean, above that, to help people transform their bodies, their minds, all of it.
It's an inside-out job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if people do have, I'm thinking about, like, if people do have, for example, let me just use myself as an example. So let's say I've been working out and I have this pain on my side. Is everything about emotions? Do I need to go? Do we all need to, and my friend had the exact same pain and I was like, is that mine? Okay, I did the whole,
Yeah, so, you actually said that. Yeah.
I asked her and she was a lifter. So I have a personal trainer that's helping me lift weights and stuff. And same personal trainer, she got this injury and then ignored it, and now she's like bedridden, and she's like, you better not, on the phone yesterday, she goes, you better deal with that and not do anything. And I was like, and by the way, for yoga, if you do hot yoga, okay, like you probably won't get the cortisol that Brian's talking about. I was going to hot yoga, and you need to watch what yoga you go to, because my cortisol was off the charts with hot yoga.
I usually, when mine's warm, I just wear sweats and a long sleeve shirt too and a hoodie. So I usually sweat my ass off in there, but everybody's different. Right?
Everybody's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So you should check that, because I was like,
whether you react to the heat or not, the same way.
Everything that's happening in your body, every pain, an emotional issue?
From my experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So
and
you
then
say
you go
left side,
through.
lower back?
Yes.
Let's go through it. You say left side, lower back?
Yeah, left side, just right off from the spine, lower back. Yeah.
Okay.
Right
So
above the glutes.
All right. So kidneys are about unforgiveness. Left side is about unforgiveness with a feminine figure. Could be a male that's feminine. Could also be a female. Could also be unforgiveness with something that's been received. So when you think about when it happened, what was going on, that's the first indication. Okay? And you always remember when you have your chart, on your back is going to be anger, burden or resentment or frustration. Generally, anger is a good place to start.
So this lower back would be like, we would think that would be in the anger or the unforgiveness part. Yeah.
When did it start hurting?
I mean, a week or two ago.
Was there have any challenges with any feminine people in your life a week ago?
Well, my mother is an issue.
There we go. I give myself permission to feel my feelings, and it's okay.
I give myself permission to feel my feelings, and it's okay.
See that? The first thing, boom, I'm watching without watching. It was like,
okay, for people that can't see me, I shook my head no.
And yeah, it would look like
a cute no.
It was cute. It was cute. Yes. But
that's
it was
important, right? So let's test this out, okay? And just know I love you. There's zero judgment here. We don't have to get into any. Here's the cool part. Well, I don't need to know any of the story. You don't either. We're just going to clean it up right quick so you can have an experience. So, okay, so we're going to do your little eye trick. When I say, hey, do your little eye trick, here's what I mean. Face straight ahead. This is one of the NLP tools I use. Face straight ahead, eyeballs to the left. So here's my face. My eyeballs are here. I took a deep breath as soon as I did that because it's going to put you in your body. So I give myself permission to feel my feelings, and it's okay. Test that one out.
It's very hard to look to the left. So everybody, I'm looking to the left with my eyeballs down, but I'm pointing straight forward to Brian. That is very difficult. It's almost like, I don't know what it is, but it's very difficult.
It's putting you into your body so you're actually feeling your feelings. That's probably what the resistance is. You're noticing.
Okay, so.
I give myself permission to feel my feelings, and it's okay.
I give myself permission to feel my feelings, and it's okay.
All right, that one took. Okay, so that's good. So now what we're going to do is let's see if we can clean it up. So I give myself permission to feel my anger about our experience, Mom, and it's okay.
I give myself permission to feel my feelings about my anger, Mom, and it's okay.
All right, here you go. Listen to this. I give myself permission. Go ahead.
I give myself permission
to feel my anger.
To feel my anger.
About our experience, Mom, and it's okay.
About our experience, Mom, and it's okay.
Yeah, all we did was clean it up a little bit. Okay, so now that's the release part. So A is awareness.
Okay.
B, we're breathing. First R is release. That's what we just did. I give myself permission to feel my anger wherever the point is, okay? And it's okay.
Yep.
I give myself permission to love my anger into my forgiveness.
I give myself permission to love my anger into forgiveness.
Yeah, nice. Into my, you hear how my was missing?
My.
That's important.
It's a big one, yeah.
But that means there's some victimization, and there's no judgment.
No, I'm good with this. Okay, it's fine.
So I give myself permission to love my anger into my forgiveness.
I give myself permission to love my anger into my forgiveness.
That was interesting. Your chin got a little tilt. And did you know how? Now look, this is important because your inner ninja is trying to out ninja me. His name and have it. And do you know how?
Inner ninja. I like that.
Her ninjas are fierce. Yeah.
Did you know how there was like a push towards the end?
Yeah, I did.
You're not pushing out there. You're going in here. It's not for me to hear.
Okay, this is why everybody needs a coach, by the way. I think you need Brian. Okay, because I don't know that I would. I'll get the inflections. I understand those, but I won't get the little.
That's okay. That's
wiggly or the my.
Being a nerd and trying to choose and figure. So I'm being willing to suck at it until I got great at it. There's a lot of it, right?
I love that.
I give myself permission to love my anger into my forgiveness.
I give myself permission to love my anger into my forgiveness.
And I give myself permission to forgive you, Mom, and it's okay.
And I give myself permission to forgive you, Mom, and it's okay.
Your head said yes, so that's good.
Yeah,
now,
I felt
always put yourself in there. I give myself permission to forgive myself. And it's okay.
I give myself permission to forgive myself, and it's okay.
Good. Now you notice your body's a lot more.
Yeah, I'm more like I'm not knowing people. I'm actually shaking my head. Yes.
Yeah.
You're being secure and just you
ease
being
through it. Yeah.
There's no pushing.
It takes a lot of courage to do this because most people's butts pucker up like. So
I got no butt puckering happening. It's good.
It's fun and easy is a useful one, right?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. So now just track your back really quick and tell me if it's any looser.
Well, I mean, it is.
There you go. Is that difficult?
No, it wasn't difficult at all.
It's amazing.
But I think having a coach is really important through it. I love that. Thank you for
That's beautiful.
walking us through that. I think it was not only was it helpful for me, but I think it's helpful to
hear it in practice.
Go through the chart and hear it in practice and watch somebody resist. Because you're going to resist too. I'm not the only one. Trust me.
I mean, imagine being with a ninja yourself or myself when I'm being with myself throughout the day. There's a lot of stuff going on,
Yeah,
there is.
So you don't have to, as you walk through the Abra process, you don't have to keep looking down and to the left past the release.
No, the reason why the down and to the left is good in the interim. Because often people are not secure being in their body.
Right, sure.
If I was in rapport, I don't need to look down. I'm just going to say something. My body's going to say, yes, sir, I'm on it, right?
Right.
But I got to get someone in rapport first, which means if they're out of alignment with themselves and they've been out for a little while, we're chipping away that onion layer to get them back in the game. All I'm doing is helping you pull out bricks in your backpack along the way. You should just feel lighter. Every time you do this, you should feel lighter. You should feel lighter. You should feel lighter. You should feel more at peace, have less dialogue going on.
I love that. So talk about, because I'm doing it right now. I look up a lot when I talk.
Is that just thinking?
I notice, what's that?
Right or left?
Right or left?
I usually to the right.
Creative. I mean, you're looking and seeing what you're going to say and you're going to crafting it. Like if I'm up on my left, that means I'm remembering whatever I'm telling you.
No. I'm to the right always. It's never to the left.
Just going into your visual center and using your creative faculties to create whatever you're going to say.
That's what I've always, that's why I feel like I do it, is crafting a message or trying to pull together the right way to articulate something, or, so.
Creative.
That makes sense, because that's what that's representing.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. Because that's exactly
I love that. Well, you're a wealth of knowledge. I love the body language stuff. It's so good. And so
what's the one thing, if you like body language wise, that you see that people are doing subconsciously that they aren't even, that is probably the most detrimental
you ready?
For their vehicle.
Yep.
All of you are going to pick this up, even if you're not watching this. Listen to this. So watch how often people are talking to you. And the whole time they should be making a head motion as to yes. Mm-hmm. They're doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Watch. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go out on a limb here, just intuitively say 80% of people probably do that. Does it mean they're lying? Could be. It means they're out of alignment for sure. Someone needs to huddle up and get on the same page. I mean, I would definitely ask some more questions before I did any type of interaction, business, or any type of that type of stuff, because look, when you understand what I know, and it doesn't take long, I could have you hardcore skilled up in an hour and a half and be absolutely profoundly deadly to your illusion 100% of the time.
Oh.
It doesn't take a long time. It just takes you being willing to suck at it, write down some sayings, and then practice. And it takes you loving yourself to take the time for yourself.
Absolutely.
And look, what I'm showing you how to do, you can do it in 60 seconds or less.
Yeah.
And honestly, it take me 2 seconds to clean it up once I know what's up. Ding, done. But it's loving myself to acknowledge what I'm feeling and give myself the time to make the adjustment. That's where most people are not. I don't have the time. Like, you don't not have the time, to be perfectly honest with you, because who you are being is what's creating your experience. And if you don't keep it cleaned up and in a state of enthusiasm and gratitude, that means anything less than that, that's the file of people, experiences, circumstances, and events that you're going to be living within. So if you don't like it, guess what? Your identity is set for such. And it doesn't matter whether you like it, because until you change it, it ain't going to change.
It's what you got. Right. I love that. Deadly to your illusion.
Yeah.
That's the kind of ninja I want. I want a deadly to my illusion ninja.
Absolutely.
Hardwired in. I'm serious.
I'm choosing Get your choose in there. Drop your
I'm
wants.
choosing, not want.
You're both y'all's biggest unveil for today, at least, is drop your wants and use your choose. And
Okay.
Love that.
just say it. Listen to this. So say I want, and then say I choose. I want, I choose. Now just listen. I'll do it a couple times. You need to. I want, I choose. I want, I choose. One goes boom, bounces out.
Yep.
My chest gets like, if you were really tuned in, you would notice when you say I want, your shoulders might go pop just a little bit, which means now my posture's changing.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yes.
fear shows up right here.
Yeah.
If someone's wanting something, that's a state of lack.
Right.
Fear of not having. That means that word initially, instantly creates a physiological vibration of I don't have or lack.
Yes.
Imagine perpetuating wanting all day long. You think there's going to be lacking all day long? 100%. And when you say I choose, that goes down into my gut instantly. You can hear it. I choose. It goes down.
Yeah.
Even
just the tone of the word like rattles a little bit inside your body where want is not. Yeah.
What I'm showing you how to do is be with yourself so that as you're making these conscious word adjustments, you feel what you're saying. And that's where you have instant manifestation. That's why putting your eyeball to the left, if you're having some challenges, like when I'm reading, or if I'm being with myself, or if I'm doing like, you know, my decrees, or if I'm doing any of the stuff that I study, I will hold it like this is my left side. I will hold it here over my left shoulder. So the whole time I'm reading it in that state. So it's going.
So
you know what I mean?
it's yeah, got it. Oh, wow.
It's so fascinating. I'm just going to tell you guys, everybody, that like, so I was practicing looking to the left, and it's easier now. So it gets easier, like, because I was there, it's easier now.
To put your R's down. Oh,
yeah, I'm like, it's almost like natural.
You're comfortable now.
Versus before, I was like, like I wanted to like move around, and you know.
Look, think about this. Have you been avoiding feeling your feelings in your life?
Oh, of course. I mean, like colossally. Okay.
Yes.
That's
And
why.
I was that.
I know.
I'm that girl that for many, not that any longer, thank goodness, but years, I never looked at myself when I got out of the shower. Never even looked down beyond my head, Brian, ever in the mirror.
Well, I'm gonna invite everybody to do that.
Really quick, when people are willing to do the work, just most people, again, look, if you walk away with anything,
Yes.
loving yourself is numero uno.
Yep.
Scripture says, love your neighbor as you love yourself, which means we got to love ourselves first. Look, I've almost killed myself 12 times, done 8 months in jail, done crazy amounts of drugs. Like, I've done a lot of stupid shit. And by the grace of God, I'm allowed to tell you about it because I should not be here. I know that. I ran out of all my 9 lives, probably 13 a long time ago. I say that not to impress you, to really impress upon you that until you're willing to do the work and clean up your identity as right, it's not going to change. And so many people have been sold a bunch of stuff that just ain't so.
Right.
And they're not sure how to dig themselves out of that hole. This is what I'm showing you how to do in seconds, and to take control of who you're being in seconds and have confirmation and validation that what you did just worked.
Yeah.
Well, I just think I just love you. We just think you're just amazing, and I really think that folks need to really think about the content of what you said today. There's so much. There's more than one thing. There's a million things you said that we could all just do right now without anything.
Right.
I mean, it's no money, no nothing. You just can do it now.
I know.
And so how can people work with you? I know you have programs. How do people get a hold of you? We can put it all in the show notes, but do you have programs? Do you have one-on-ones? Do you have, what can you do to help us? Help us.
Yes. And honestly, the youth of America, young men, honestly, Brian, what you could do for them and provide these tools and demystify all of this self-love and wellness. Shame.
Lowest vibration.
Shame. On that chart you're talking about, lowest. Shame.
Oh, check this out. See if I can get this here. All right, so this little thing right here. Okay, so this little thing right here is my makeshift chart. Let me show you this.
I like it.
I'll use my pendulum right here and I'll say, all right, where am I operating at emotionally? It's going to go over to 1,000 because I clocked it before we started. So I'm over 1,000 right now, which is Avatar Plus, but I was shame and guilt a little while ago. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So I can use this in a split second, and I'll share this if you choose to. And for those of you who choose to have this, just when you text me, let me know. I'll send it to you. But I created this. So over here on the left is shame and guilt. That's 20. It's a low. I mean, that's death spiral.
Yes.
Go backwards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You got guilt, despair, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, and then you got neutrality, which is 200. That's green. Then we go all the way over here. Now I could be right here, and in 10 seconds, be over here.
Yeah.
Because you're choosing to do that.
Once I know it, I'll use my tools and ninja tricks and get over here in 10 seconds or less. And once I show you how to do this, you'll do it for yourself. But here's the point. That little thing right there tells me exactly where I'm at. Like if something's not tracking here, but I know I'm still out of alignment, because shame and guilt doesn't have a location. It might be grief or something like that, but sometimes having the specific, like I feel shame and guilt, it's different than grief.
Yes.
But having a way to be able to acknowledge that is priceless, because once I have that, then I can change it.
Right.
I can go back and track it and confirm that what I did just worked.
Well, and I will guarantee, yes, 1,000. And most, this is the other part. And I love how expeditious speed of implementation you are, Brian. Honestly, it takes so much heavy for people going through stuff. It takes all this. It's going to take forever to feel better. Like it's going to take forever to feel from shame. I will guarantee you, anybody listening to this does not think it takes 10 seconds to go from shame to joy. Most people do not think that is possible.
People disagree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your clients.
Yes, but I'm saying people who don't have the ninja tools do not think that. They just don't. Yeah.
They have bought the story, and that's the American dream. I don't know if you ever heard this, but George Collins says the American dream. They call it the American dream because you got to be asleep to believe it.
Oh my God.
Now that's
pretty funny.
Rings very, very, very true these days.
Oh wow.
You know? So the value of what we're talking about is really, you can be your. And I'm going to say this because I didn't say this. I'm going to say it, but I didn't make it up. Therapist. If you're a therapist, please forgive me. I'm just saying the words. Yep. I love you no matter where. And I work with a lot of therapists, teaching them what I'm teaching you, because it works. Functional medicine doctors, chiropractors, nurses. I teach them this because it works, and they use it in their practice like that, okay? So, therapist, the rapist. I didn't say it. Well, I said it, but I didn't make it up.
It's that English language.
Back in that English language thing.
You think about what's going on. You think about how long people talk about shit without solving it.
Yeah.
Pretty fair.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Okay, how do we work with you?
Yes,
how do we all work with you?
So here's the deal. So I have plenty of ways to help you out. The best thing to do is use my text message number, comment the word chart, say, hey, watch you on Holli's podcast, whatever you want to say, and I'll know it's you when you get back there, and then I'll help you out. So I have digital products, books, group stuff, one-on-one stuff. I work with corporations.
Okay.
I go into businesses. I work with a lot of couples. I don't announce this, but I end up working with a lot of couples.
Yes.
That makes sense to me, by the way.
It really does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the thing we'll close out on this one. So when my people come to me, they don't really know what they're getting themselves into, because I don't even know what we're going to get ourselves into until we get in there and start doing it.
Sure.
Here's what I'll tell you. If they're in a relationship, I ask them, hey, you in a relationship? Like, yeah. I'm like, great. Is your partner open-minded? They're like, hear me out. One or two things is going to happen. You're going to huddle up and get on the same page, or you're going to split up.
Yeah.
74% plus or minus end up splitting up, because vibrationally speaking, when you start growing, what I'm going to show you is going to get to the core, and you're going to grow at a very fast rate. And if this person down here is dead weight and they don't want to change, there's no longer going to be a magnetic connection, because at some point you're going to hit a dissonance where there's so much gap between who you are. You're not even in the same book anymore.
Right.
It's hard to stay in something like that where you're not supported, where people are not voting your victory, where people are not seeing your perfection, where people are wondering why you're saying this versus that. You got to have people that you're around to have community to be able to help you with that kind of stuff. Because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. It is easy. It's just most people ain't interested in the change. Change freaks people out. But look, you're changing whether you like it or not. You might as well take conscious control of it and do it your way.
I love
It's
that.
happening, whether you like it or not. You're getting changed. You're either doing the changing or you're getting changed.
Or you're getting changed, yeah.
You're not, someone's having the control over you to do it, right? So these things we can all help you out with for sure.
I can see that you'd be really helpful with couples. The Gottman Lab could be able to, before you got married, predict divorce within like 90%.
Yeah.
And it's how you talk, how you behave with one another, what your facial expression, I mean, all the things that you do naturally.
The words you choose.
Yeah. And then what will happen with you is I actually would have preferred to go to, everybody that listens knows I'm divorced, okay? And I would have preferred to have gone to you than a therapist, because what you're going to highlight in your session is how many worlds apart you are. And you called it vibration, but you're going to highlight that. So if that's the case, or bring people together, like, I didn't realize I was being disrespectful, whatever it is, whatever happens. But I think having that highlight would be super beneficial to not, I'm going to call it wasting time trying to get to. And my therapist actually said, well, I mean, guys aren't that great. You could do worse. And I'm like, what? Okay.
Refund, please.
What? He was very
Refund.
He was very charming. I think he charmed her, but nevertheless, okay. So anyway, okay, I love it. So
perfect.
He'll work with all of us
any way we want.
This is a good thing.
If we need to put a group together and you want to put a group together, we can do whatever. Just let me know.
Oh, we could do
that
a group.
would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing,
okay,
actually.
All right, we're going to take that under advisement.
Yep.
I love this.
Yes.
I love you. I love this
Brian,
so much.
This is beautiful.
This is so amazing. Thank you for taking your time out. It's incredible.
I got one more thing.
Yes.
Can I share this real quick? It's
yes, absolutely.
Please.
I'll give you $1 billion tool. So this is crazy. So this is a piece of military body language wisdom. My coach, sometimes I can't find him for 3 or 4 years because he's off doing whatever he's doing. This guy gets brought in to interrogate hostages and terrorists and all kinds of stuff, okay? Cool. So we're in class. Let's say I'm my coach and y'all are in the audience. There's a lady sitting in a chair on his left. And he looks over at the lady and says, "Hey, lady, how old are you?" She goes, "I'm not going to tell you." Real snooty. I'm watching all this where y'all are. He says, "Perfect. Get up." She gets up. She sits on the other side. Same identical chair, just duplicate. He looks over and says, "Hey, lady, how old are you?" Her body goes, and her eyes got really big, and she looked terrified. I'm like, what was that? I'm tracking all this. I'm getting the rest of y'all just see what happened. Like, she just went from, "I'm going to knock you out," to freaked out. Same people, same question, different location. What is going on here? Check this out. So at my dinner table for a long time, my daughter, which was 13 at the time, would sit on my left. Okay, now remember, left, the lady was sitting on the left, which means I'm sitting off to my daughter's right.
To her right.
My coach was off to her right. Right is masculine, alpha, authoritative, like, this is mine kind of thing, in a way. So I'm at the dinner table, and all of our dinner table conversations went right down the shitter, and I had nothing to compare it to. I'm like, maybe this is just what it is. So I'm like, chalk it up, right? So we went and got something to eat, like maybe a week later, and we came home, and we're sitting at the table, and I ended up sitting on the other side. Just wasn't paying attention at all, just sat on the other side. We're sitting there eating. Everyone's having a good time, laughing. So I stopped chewing. I'm like, "Dude, what's the deal?" I'm like, as soon as I asked one, I'm like, "You know this already." I'm like, "Now you do, for sure." But what happened was, as soon as I got on the other side, now my daughter's subjected to my alpha energy, which completely balanced out everything. So I didn't have a heathen 13-year-old trying to run the show, because that's what was going on. When I was off to her right, that's what was going on.
It was a power play. Yeah.
As soon as I got on the other side, on the right, done.
Okay, well, that's fascinating.
Check this out. I'll give you a couple of nuances so you can start using it right now. And look, what I'm showing you is how to create rapport, connection, and influence in seconds with never met in your life. Okay? So, and I'll do it right now. Y'all can kind of experience it for yourself. So right now I have more of my right side towards you. This is my alpha education, whatever you want to call it, superior. I don't like the word superior, but you can control a conversation if you're on the right. If someone's off to your right, you're in the lead. Just know that. Okay. Now what you do with it, be respectful and obviously be a person of integrity, but no, you have the right of way. Okay. If you ever like to get the truth from someone, put them on your right. If you ever like to be present and fully hear someone, put them on your left. I've had people in my past that were on my right, and I would be talking to them, or they're talking to me, giving me all the things, and I'm Brian Fix a Problem, like miles ahead of our conversation, doing stuff in my head. I'm like, dude, relax. I'm like, what's the deal? I'm like, phone on this side, or hey, client, get on this side. As soon as they do that, relaxed, quiet, no thoughts, fully present. What does that mean? How can you apply it? Well, if you're in a relationship with someone and you choose, my suggestion is you write this down and remember it and practice it.
Yes.
Maybe sit next to someone at dinner or somewhere and sit on one side for a little bit. And then maybe if you're going for a walk or something, walk on 5 minutes for a side. Don't tell them what you're doing.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the conversation. Is it smooth? Is it rubbing? Because check this out. So both of you probably had this experience. Do we have time right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll keep it quick. Have you ever had an experience when you go to meet someone for the first time and you can tell this person is triggered or unhappy or not comfortable with you?
Yes.
When you're both right on right, you're both doing. That's masculine energy. It's not going to work. Even in homosexual relationships, you still have a feminine and a masculine energy for it to work.
Yes.
Right? You can't do two dudes or two males because it's gonna be friction.
Right.
Right. So when you're going and shaking hands with this person, this happens in a split second. When you see that and you're shaking hands with them and you can tell they're triggered, just switch your foot up.
Oh.
Switch your foot to
the left foot.
To the left
foot.
foot.
The left foot.
So
lead with the other one. Yeah.
Left side up. Now my left side is front, which means I've given them the right of way. I've given alpha, acquiesce for a moment, and then I'll switch my feet back up. It offsets their energy, allows them to relax, and then I'll switch back into mine.
Wow.
Okay? I love that. That's
so. I love the idea of playing with it too. Just be curious, like you said, go for a walk or sit one place and then switch it up and see if it doesn't change the nature of the vibe or the conversation or the energy. I love this. Like, be curious, be playful, figure it out, try things new.
I was thinking about. When we went to a important meeting and we were like, okay, well, we don't want to sit directly across from him because we were meeting one of our coaches. Yep. And we were like, there's two of us and we're meeting one coach. And I was like, okay, well, we could balance them out so that we're not. And then we ended up at a round table.
Which is perfect.
And he was to my left.
He was to my right.
But to your right. And I'm like, should she like, but he's the alpha.
But I did, just so you know, just more my nature is I did turn, so I was facing, so my left side was being more dominant because I had turned more, you were kind of behind, I wasn't really even looking at you, I was looking, so I did turn more with my left end.
Should we be conscientious of like the placement of meetings and where you're sitting and?
Yeah, for sure. Like if I'm going to an event where I need to learn, I'm going to be on the left side.
Oh.
Or maybe even the right, so that way I can listen with my left ear. Generally, I'll be on the right because that way I can listen with my left ear, so I can just be present.
We were both on the left at the beach house, at least the day that we met.
I mean, you just got to practice it. Just as you practice more, you're going to realize which spot for you is going to be effective. For me, if I need to be just fully present and I'm having to just watch and stuff, I'm going to be on the right so that my left side is closest to this person, so I'm on my receiving ear. Out on my action ear on the right side, where the whole time I'm like, ding, 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 let's go, let's go. Now I need to get on the other side so I can just relax.
Okay.
Think about this. If you're in a relation, change your bed up with your partner and see what you notice. Test your different car riding or your dinner table situation, and it's instant. When you can track it, pay attention and just watch how you feel. That's what's going to tell you what's going on. And when you start talking, you're going to see, okay, it's third grader stuff. It really is. Just people just don't know about it.
Oh my God, I love it. I mean,
all the teachers should know too, really.
Teachers should know.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
I
that
mean-
is $1 billion.
I mean, this was an incredible conversation today, Brian. And I love how, you have just this real, I really fully appreciate all the energy you put into managing your energy and vibration and sharing that with other people. You don't squander it for yourself. You're not selfish in that way. You give it, and it really is infectious, and it makes people want to aspire to that. Not want, choose to aspire to that.
Yes, Chi-Chi, we're learning.
I'm learning.
Maybe they're putting some sticky notes with that choose word on there, because the biggest part now is like, you could go a week of using it hardcore, and then life happens. Like, oh shit, I forgot
Sneaks
my
back
thing.
in a little. I know. Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, there's one more thing I use too. Is an app I use called Think Up, where I take my voice, and if I'm recording or hardwiring stuff, I'll put it in my voice, and then I'll upload my music. Like, I like house music or Rufus and things like that. It's not really a lot of words. I like the beat. So when I find an artist, I'll buy the song, I'll upload it into the Think Up app, and I have hashtags for whatever I'm learning or remembering or whatever, and I just listen to my own music. You can get 1,000 repetitions in it in 2-3 hours.
Okay, well, that's a brilliant hack.
I love that.
Okay, that's great. Think Up. Love it.
That's what I use rather than listen. I mean, I listen to music, so I got to listen to Pantera or something when I go to the gym just to change up my state.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
Stuff,
Perfect.
All right, Brian Johnson.
Well,
We have 512-648-5440, and that is the text number. You want to text chart
wheat belly.
Yeah. And that's
And
it.
I'll see, there's another one too if you want to put Gundry. There's an interview with Dr. Oh, you actually can do the Jillian Michaels one I heard I did. Jillian with 2 L's.
Yep.
And then
Okay.
you can do Gundry if you want, Gundry. Those are all free resources you can grab.
Gundry. Okay. Excellent.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all your knowledge. We love it.
Until we meet on the dusty path again, Brian.
Maybe we'll create the dusty path.
I think we might need to do that. Yeah, for sure.
Put a group together, and I'll come in and teach you.
All right.
I love it.
I do something called the 30-day challenge that has all that stuff in it.
How many people would be perfect for a group?
However many you want to put in there.
Okay. All right.
I love it. I love it. Awesome.
All
Brian
right.
Johnson, you're amazing. Thank
Absolutely.
you for all you do for yourself
right,
and everybody
everyone.
else.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Everything will be in the show notes.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.